Guys, welcome to Sahil's Toys and Workshop, and it's all about ecosystems these days. So Sahil has something really interesting for you. We're doing our own little ecosystem, and this is a Corsair ecosystem. So what this ecosystem has is a 3500X ARGB cabinet. I did a review on this a couple of months back. Then we have the Corsair RM850x SHIFT, that's the keyword here, power supply unit. And then we have this 360mm AIO, the iQue Link Titan 360 RX LCD, because it has that LCD and it has these iQue Link fans. I'm going to talk about each and every component and how they all come together in this ecosystem and what are the benefits of it and what are, say, the negatives of it. And if you don't have the ecosystem, then what exactly you'll be missing out on. I've built the system in such a way so that we can understand all of these things very clearly. So first of all, let's talk about this cabinet. The 3500X actually comes in 3 different variants, and these 3 are very different, by the way. So first is just the 3500X, where you just get the cabinet. You don't get these 3 120mm ARGB fans. The second is the 3500X ARGB, which is the one I have, in which I've got these 3 Corsair 120mm ARGB fans. This fan behind this does not come with a cabinet. This is not a Corsair fan. This is in fact a Volted fan. Volted is an Indian brand, so lots of interesting things happening there also. It's a nice fan, it's got a nice look. The third is the 3500X iQue Link edition, which instead of these 3 120mm fans, ARGB fans, you get 3 iQue Link fans. Now what are iQue Link fans and what is the difference between normal RGB fans? You see the fans here on the top? These are iQue Link fans. So if you see, okay, let me just pop this off so you can get a clear view. So if you see these fans, they have a special lighting pattern, and this is what iQue Link fans can do. Normal RGB fans cannot do that. So if I bought the iQue Link edition of this cabinet, these fans would also have been having the same effects that this has. So I wish I had the iQue Link fans actually, because after I set this up and after I set up the whole software, I mean, I'm just in love with this effect. You know, if you've been watching my videos, I've always been of the opinion that RGB sucks. Well, the RGB still kind of sucks, but when you have something like this, I mean, I would really want this, because mostly like RGB, it's like, you know, it's permanently on, or you get those really basic effects and they just look like really cheesy. But this thing looks really high end. So if my entire system was iQue Link, that would look really sick, because I think this effect looks really sick. And in fact, in the iQue Link software, there's just so much you can do there, and this really interesting effects, which is really like, it's not like the fans are the RGBs on permanently, you know, they behave in such a way and you can arrange them really well. So it's just really good. So actually I really like the RGB implementation by this whole iQue Link system. This, because it's not iQue Link, I only get these basic effects. So yeah, that's actually one benefit. Say if I had the cabinet in iQue Link, I would have made the entire system work like that. The other thing I could have done actually is instead of mounting the 360mm cooler above, I could have mounted it here. Let me just pop this off. See, nice toolless removal. I could have mounted this here, and then those effects would be like more visible. So I think I'm going to do that actually. I got this idea just while speaking this right now. So let me talk about the cabinet first. I think this is one of the best mid-range cabinets I've used, and it's very easy for me to come to this conclusion because the sheer ease in which I was able to build the system. So almost every panel which you can remove is toolless. I just removed these 2 panels without a tool. Even the top panel, there you go, no tool, just simply removed it. The same is for this one, which is already removed. So, you know, it's just like completely toolless. Notice that there's no pillar over here. Almost, I think 99% cabinets have a pillar over here. So because of a missing pillar, the space that you get for like when you're removing components and putting components, when you're just working around with the PC, that is just really good. So you really get this spacious vibe when you're working with this. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the airflow compromised in the front? Because usually fans are mounted in the front, and in most cabinets there is airflow from the front. Well, yes, the short answer is yes, slightly, but the thing is, Corsair has given you a lot of intelligent fan mounting options. So here I've mounted a 360mm AIO. I can also mount it over here, and it does fit, because previously I did mount it over here. I can mount a 160mm case fan over here. I can mount 2 120mm fans over here. So yeah, there's just many different fans I can mount in this. So the airflow is not compromised. And if you come here, the customization in this LCD display, I've made it show the time. Usually people make it show the temperature, but my motherboard, which is the MSI Z890 Tomahawk, shows the temperature over here. This is rocking an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K with an RTX 5080 Founders Edition. So yeah, it's a nicely endowed PC. And there's another Corsair component inside it. It's the Gen 5 Corsair NVMe SSD, which I've done a review on. It's like hidden behind the GPU. I've done a review for that also on Il Gaming. So now the other interesting thing is this RM850x power supply unit. If you see the reviews of this power supply unit, this is actually a very high-end power supply unit. It performs really well. It's actually one of the best 850 watt PSUs you can get. So this is the Shift series. Now what this means is you can use it in other cabinets, in other non-Corsair cabinets, but it won't be that convenient. It is specifically designed for the newer Corsair cabinets. So what the Shift series does is, usually in a power supply unit, you have the outlets behind the power supply unit, but in the Shift series, you have it on the side of the power supply unit. Let me demonstrate it. So we're going to shift this. Okay, one more thing. Now I'm trying to shift this, but this thing is like, it's firmly planted. The cabinet is firmly planted onto the table. Why? Because the rubber feet are really good quality. Now, if I come over here, this is an MSI cabinet, I can literally shift this with one finger. This is a full tower Thermaltake View 71, again a very high-end cabinet, but I can still shift this with one hand. Even though this has rubber feet, it still moves on the table if you shift it. But this one, it is really well planted. That just talks about the quality of this cabinet. And actually in general, in all of these three components, the thing I've noticed here is that the quality of Corsair, the quality that they're giving you, the unboxing experience, the whole packaging, the accessories, the way everything is marked is top notch. I think Corsair is one of the best quality when it comes to these components. So kudos to Corsair for that. So by the way, this video is not sponsored by Corsair or anything. This is my personal insights on this. So I'm really impressed with the Corsair quality. Now we were talking about the power supply unit, the Shift power supply and what it means. So I'm just going to shift this. All right, it's a bit messy behind because I'm not those ones who will do the cable management. Can you see the power supply unit here? If you see, these outlets are actually located on the side, not behind. Usually they're located behind, but here they're located on the side. So because of that, you can actually achieve a more cleaner build. This power supply unit is actually an ATX 3.1 PCI Express 5.1. What that means is, you know, since I think 20 plus years since I've been building PCs, and this is the first time I've seen PSU technology being pushed ahead. And so let me explain to you. So what this ATX 3.1 is. You see, this is the connector of a normal power supply unit, right? This is the 8-pin connector which goes into the power supply unit. This is the connector of an ATX 3.1 power supply unit. It is almost half the size. So that's something new that I noticed, and all of the connectors here are of this small size. So again, that's great. Yeah, like I mentioned, it's the first time I've seen power supply unit technology being pushed forward. It's something I did not expect. I love things that I don't expect and I get them. Behind, yes, this is the iCue Link control for that you get with the 360mm cooler. This actually magnetically goes over here, but you know, for the sake of this video, I actually put a hard drive over here with the mounting thing. So that's why I'm short of space. So actually, if you're using this cabinet with a RGB controller and with many hard drive options, you might have some clearance issues. But if I remove this hard drive, I can just mount this over here. You do also get hard drive bays that you can place over here. So a very versatile cabinet. And if you want to know all the details about the cabinet, I can't cover all of this in this video. Do check out the full review on the channel for this cabinet. So, you know, I think being in that iCue Link ecosystem is really good because you get these really nice high-end effects that I'm a fan of. This thing actually converted me to RGB, which I did not expect. And once again, if Sahil doesn't expect something and it happens, Sahil loves that. It sucks that I don't have these in iQue Link, but you know what? I'm gonna try and get my hands on some more iQue Link fans so I can make the entire system in this nice, really iQue Link effects, because those effects work really well. The iQue Link software, well, it's not perfect, but it does get the job done. And you do need to tinker around, and you do need, there is a little slight learning curve to it, but once you start using it, once you've invested into it, I'm sure there will be no problems on getting a grip on that. So yeah, that's it from my side. I think it's a great cabinet, a great power supply unit. I will be doing a comparison for this AIO, because the performance, you can see here, the 285K, I don't know why I'm idling so high at 61. It's usually 44-45 degrees Celsius. The performance of this cooler, well, I'm not going to spill all the beans right now. Come back for the full review of this AIO. And that's it from my side. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I know in the review of the 3500X, a lot of you commented about you'd like to see this built with the whole iQue Link thing. That's why I'm doing this video. So if you have any more thoughts, any more comments, you want me to do any more interesting builds, so do let me know. And you can count on Sahil to give you what you want. Sahil out.